Item is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections?
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes of the previous meeting, everybody had a chance to review those.
Motion to approve as presented. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a visitor this morning, Eric. You want to introduce yourself then?
My name's Eric Funk. I work at First State Community Bank. A little bit about my background. I moved to Saline County about 12 years ago. I'm trying to think when we came here. It was 2014. So my family and I moved from Northwest Missouri down in southern Saline County. I've been with the bank just now 4 years. Come in with about 24 years of banking experience, 20 years prior to FSCB or First State. So I guess I'm here to maybe answer any questions that you guys may have about the bank. We put in a bid for the proposed city building on a tax-free bid, and so I know some about that. Our bank is fairly large. I was talking to Tony a little bit. We have about 400 million out on the books on just municipal loans throughout our footprint. We're a pretty good sized bank, 4.5 billion in assets. And so we're able to do municipal lending. We have a whole municipal lending department that is stationed in Farmington, where our corporate office sits. That's where the bank originated. It's a little over 60 years old. So I guess I'll try to forward any questions that you may have on what is on the proposal, if you've got some questions on that or about the bank itself. And so we can go from there, I guess. That's the reason I came in today, because not too many people, it was Bank Midwest about 7-8 years ago. Until 4.5, 5 years ago, I didn't know much about the bank until I started working for them. So, but it's a pretty good bank. We do a lot in the community. We give a lot back to non-for-profit businesses and things like that.
Great.
What was your last name, Eric?
Eric Funk, F-U-N-K.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kind of fees accompany this financing?
Pardon?
What kind of fees are going to be associated with this? There's no origination. There's nothing like that.
We waived all the fees. There's no origination fees. We proposed it, and I'd have to look once, but it's 4.85%.
Yeah, 5% 10-year.
Yep. So it was pretty cut and dry. We're doing it as a construction loan where you would do quarterly draws to help save some interest. It'll probably save you a little over $200,000 in the proposed 18 months of interest by doing it as draws and not as one lump sum. So that was part of our proposal, and at no prepayment in 5 years. So 10-year rate lock.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll probably sneak out here in a few minutes. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me at the bank out there. I got a loan closing here shortly after 9. So, yeah, more than welcome to visit with me one-on-one out there, or give me a call, and I'll give Tony knows how to get in touch with me. I work best by cell because I'm traveling a lot. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Eric. It's nice meeting you. I appreciate you coming by. Okay. If nothing else, we'll move into, let's see. Looks like we had a couple little minor incident with, damage here. Any questions about any of those? Okay, not, we'll move into reports. Tony, you're up first, so.
We have a second set of meetings, minutes that we need to approve for the work session. Did you guys just approve the regular?
I think we just did the regular.
Yeah.
minutes.
We didn't
Okay,
approve
session.
work session.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the work session minutes.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the work session minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I
Okay,
guess just one comment about the, not the trailer not being hooked. That could have been much worse. If, whenever they went to load the gator, if it had stayed, if it hadn't popped up then, it could have popped up going down the road. Yeah. So, could have been much worse.
Okay.
Tony?
Morning. Yeah, I appreciate Derek. He reached out and wanted to be here to answer any questions, so I appreciate him doing that. But I do have an action item here for the lease purchase transaction for the Customer Connect Center. Last board meeting, I presented you guys with the proposals we received. After reviewing those and evaluating those, it was pretty clear to me that First State Community Bank, the 10-year fixed rate, was the best proposal for MMU. So my recommendation would be to make a motion to approve the First State Community Bank 10-year fixed rate lease purchase financing proposal in the amount of up to 7.1 at a fixed rate of 5%. And this will have an ordinance to go to the city for 2 readings.
But we still don't have a firm bid from Septicon.
We get that on the 29th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, which is kind of falls in the middle of the city's approval.
so we're gonna go ahead for this loan amount and then,
Right, this
depending on what they come in at.
isn't spending any money, and then this is just making it available if we do decide,
Okay.
when the guaranteed maximum price comes in, that we want to move forward.
No other comments? I'd make a motion to approve the First State Community Bank 10-year fixed rate lease purchase financing proposal in the amount of up to $7,126,126 at a fixed interest rate of 5%, and that the city council adopt an ordinance authorizing the lease purchase financing and execution of the lease agreement.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the First State Community Bank 10-year fixed rate lease purchase financing proposal in the amount of up to $7,126,126 at a fixed interest rate of 5%, and that the city council adopt an ordinance authorizing the lease purchase financing and execution of the lease agreement. Any other discussion? Questions? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen. Not much else to add other than we did get the electric rates updated from winter to summer. That went into effect June, and the water rates updated. So,
What are the hours?
summer,
Summer hours.
2 to 9.
2 to 9.
Rate stays the same, just time.
Does anyone have any,
Sorry, Ken.
No.
That went into effect in May.
okay.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Eric about the rates proposal? Okay. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Like I said, feel free to contact me if you do have any questions later on.
Okay, anything else for Tony? Thank you, Tony. Doug, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning,
We
Doug.
got an action item for you today. It's for the electric distribution underground facilities building maintenance. Got to go around for this. We did open the bids on Wednesday, June 3rd. We received 2 bids. one from Central Missouri Glass, that was done. We did meet with the person from Central Missouri Glass on site. He did walk around, look at all the windows and doors, talk to Grant himself, and seemed like he knew what he was doing pretty well, answered all our questions, provided us what we needed. So with that, my recommendation is for a motion to approve the bid from Central Missouri Glass for $43,860.13 for each building.
Make a motion to approve the bid from Central Missouri Glass for $43,860.13 for each building.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the bid from Central Missouri Glass for $43,860.13 for each building. Any other discussion, questions? Seems kind of funny they'd both be exactly the same amount. Anyway, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Thank you, gentlemen. Only other update is the power plant dig site. We're digging up the asbestos duct banks, so that's all been disposed of. There is one empty dumpster that they need to haul off. We anticipated another haul on that, but we sent some tests off, and the test came back negative for asbestos, so we didn't need that extra dumpster, so we're disposed of that. So everything's going slow over there. We've run into a lot of things that were buried that we didn't know were there, so we have to contend with that when we get there. So continue to work on that, but we see the end in sight, I hope. So
Found any good artifacts?
nothing worth saving.
That's surprising. I figured you'd be digging up all sorts of stuff out there.
Yeah, lots of things, but large steam pipe, circ tank, circ water lines, and valves, and concrete. Lots of concrete, rebar.
I heard out at the junction, working on gloves, found an old Studebaker. Very
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that thing.
See, why can't we come up with anything cool like that?
I think, going through this, you kind of realize or recognize what that property has meant to this community. I mean, some of the first power generation was over there. They found part of a clear well from what he used for water. So that property's been repurposed and used to support this community for well over 100 years. And it's very evident when you put a shovel in the ground. But, Grant's got some guys over there helping. Those guys are really doing a good job of getting that cleaned up. And hopefully we'll have some dirt to put back in there that we can provide. We can maybe update on that here a little bit.
That's all I have. Any questions for me?
much of a problem from the wind burst or whatever happened?
Yeah, we had it pretty isolated to the central east side of town and up to the north a little bit. I think there's 128 customers out for a couple hours. Just a lot of tree damage, mainly, was the cause of everything. So,
Appreciate y'all getting the work done and getting everybody back online.
They impressed the Saline County Emergency Management Director in the process. I don't know if you read the paper, but Brad said when he showed up, the utilities Doug's staff impressed him because they were already right in the middle of stuff getting it going. So it's good to hear that from the Emergency Management Director. That's a good compliment for Doug and his staff.
Good job.
Thank your crew.
I'll pass it along.
Anything else for Doug? Thank you, Doug. Jim, good morning.
Morning. We do have an action item. We did open bids last week for the next round of grant conduit. This is roughly 55, 60 miles or so. Catches Grand Pass and west of Blind Pony, kind of the west part of the county there. There will be another 25 miles left for next year, so this isn't the last one, but it's most of it covered. Did have 11 bids, pretty good range as usual. Some of the reason a few of them are lower is because they exclude the rocky fours. Just attempt to attach to a bridge, but we can't do that on state roads. We can only do that on county roads. So last few contracts, we've had a few creek crossings that we've had to redo ourselves or figure out a plan B. But in the long run, it's cheaper to do it that way than it is to pay the twice as much for the whole project, and instead of doing 99% and do the last 1% ourselves. So with that in mind, our recommendation is to accept a little bid at 205 from Ram Construction. They'll have to go to the city council and all that.
So you're comfortable with Ram?
I've never worked for them before. Haven't necessarily heard good things, but that's considered the source type thing. So that's, I don't know, but yeah, they're the low bid and don't have any reason to reject them other than what second low bid would say. So,
Yeah, they,
I get that.
yeah, they meet all the bid requirements, so they provide everything. Well, bid.
Got all their insurance information.
yes, they put all their bonds and stuff in that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of why the performance bond's going to be in there. So.
I can't read it, I can't pronounce that name.
Just gonna be it.
It's gonna be make a motion to accept the bid from Ram Contractors LLC, Tuscomia, Missouri, for contracts 2602 and 2603 at $2.05 per foot. I request the city council to authorize MMU management to sign the agreement.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to accept the bid from Ram Contractors LLC out of Tuscumbia, Missouri for contracts 2602 and 2603 at a rate of $2.05 per foot, and request the city council to authorize MMU management to sign the agreement. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Updates, we still having a little bit of trouble on the south part of Double E, blowing in fiber. There appears the crew that was working on that section, whenever they were separating the tracer wire from the main body of the conduit, were using a Sawzall and got a little too deep into the conduit, and a few spots that the conduit got slit and leaks air, so ran into a few of those. So it's kind of slowing us down a little bit down there, but we did get a little bit done. So I think we've done almost 4 miles so far this month. So
Yeah, so that was my question. I think you answered it. So the conduit being damaged wasn't because of the installer of the conduit. It was whenever we went to,
no, it was the installer.
it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. So whenever they couple two of them together, there's tracer wire that they have to slice off and tie together so we can do our locates. And whenever they slice that little bit off, they got a little too deep into the conduit itself.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and so that creates a weak point or a slit in the conduit and leaks air.
Okay.
And there's not really any way where you can find it until you're trying to blow.
And did we notify the installer?
Not yet. I mean, they're long gone, so it's one of those things where we had a certain amount of time to accept the construction, and not really a good way to test it until you're actually blowing it. So
So we just file it away and whatever?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll let them know how many, but there's probably no remedy.
Yeah. No. Okay.
That's all I've got. Unless you got any questions.
Anything else for Jim? Thank you, Jim. Jared, good morning.
Morning. Do have an update on Unit 6's voltage regulator. Turbine Controls Consulting has everything. They're all ready to do it. We actually kind of tentatively planned for possibly doing it this week. After some discussion with MOPEP, we were going to face a forced outage to take the unit out of service for a week to do that. Sounds like it could be more beneficial to us if we wait till October. And Turbine Controls Consulting, they seemed to be okay with that. They understood, and it's going to be more beneficial to us if we wait. We won't take quite as big a hit if we do it then, as opposed to trying to do it now. So I think that's the direction we're going to go. We've been having really good luck with the unit running in manual here lately, so we're just going to kind of keep rolling that way. we did run 10 and 11 last night. Those two units both ran good too. So that's all I got unless you got any questions.
I guess the cooling unit, the air conditioning unit that we approved last week.
Yes, he's got the unit ordered and he's hoping to be there in the next couple of weeks.
Anything else for Jared? Thank you, Jared. Grant, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. As you probably should have a handout there, the report from Reservoir 2 inspection. Be happy to discuss any questions you have there. I think it confirmed our suspicions. It can remain in service for the time being, but in the future, a decision is going to have to be made on whether we rehab it or demo it. And there's quite a cost difference there. I think when we get some firmer numbers from Burns and Mac on the tower and issues and the projects that we have, I think that'll make that decision a little more clear. But now we have the info that confirms what we thought.
Yeah, reading through it, it didn't look good. I'm kind of concerned just from a contamination standpoint of, things that are going on with it.
The potential is there, according to the report.
Yeah.
We'd have to run some tests on the paint and the asbestos part of it. I had thought we had an asbestos test, but we can't seem to locate it, so that test would need to be done prior to either decision was made in the future on rehab or demolition.
It just looks to me like the cost for rehab, to me, it doesn't make sense to rehab this thing.
Jim about will build a water tower for that.
Yeah. I would ask, so there were recommended maintenance and rehabilitation action near term. So there were 3 there near term. Would we do those? And obviously one, the perimeter fencing and secure the site.
We would
Seems like we should do that.
that's pretty low hanging fruit we could do. I think that we would have to get a firmer cost on the other repairs and bring it back to you.
The roofing assemblies.
Yeah, just to see, a lot of those, the recommendations, we can do some minor things to the roof vent assemblies. We can put gaskets in the hatches, which we're gonna do anyway, since we open them. We always redo gaskets when we open events. Or open the hatches, excuse me.
Because it's gonna be a while before we get a new tower up. So I guess short term, what we could do to kind of mediate some of these things, but not to the point where we're rebuilding it. I also, just curious, what's the risk if you take it out of service entirely?
There's 860,000 gallons of water storage we'd be losing. That was kind of figured in to the improvements at the water plant with the storage up there. We would just locally, we would lose 860,000 gallons of storage. To me personally, I think that risk is minimal. It would actually help with water age for our districts, because we'd have turnover more. I think the risk is minimal if we do it with the officer.
The only risk I would see there is I don't know what effect that would have on Travis's pumping schedule.
Right.
Because that obviously would affect him, because they run until storage in town's full. So I don't know, I mean, he would certainly need to be involved in those discussions. Now, as far as water age and that, it just may have an impact on the schedule at our plant
Up there.
But,
Losing that storage may affect how long he's online.
yeah, he may have to run shorter and then start back up quicker, but I think we can have that discussion with him, Chuck, and
It's in,
kind of move that direction anyway.
If there's no other questions on that, we did receive the final draft for the risk and resilience and the emergency response plan. We made some additions and corrections to that. I hope to have it sent off next week. It's due June 30th. We'd like to give EPA a couple weeks to peruse it and give us any comments. Crews on Ted Bond and Wall should make the tie at Ted and High today, so that section will be completed. Then we would move to Bond. We did, as Jeff mentioned, we did send one test sample with Joe Klein of the clay we're taking from Ted Bond and Wall for a possible backfill at the power plant. He was coming to get, he came and got a second one. We haven't got results or any comment on either one yet, but we're hopeful that we use that from that job to fill that plant.
And I guess just to add to this reservoir, so their rehab is like 4.7, their estimate. And I think that tower was kind of, and we'll know more when they do the,
Yeah, I think it was around
six,
6.
the lower
No, I think
six.
it was around 6.
yeah.
So they're comparable at a level 5
Yeah.
estimate.
So
But,
1.3, 1.5 more.
yeah, and I think Jeff mentioned some stuff, some potential savings on the water tower, depending on how we do the project delivery, we could buy the tower, because I guess they come kind of like at kits direct and then do the assembly. So I think there's some opportunities to bring that down, but I think when it's all said and done, you're looking probably about the same amount of dollars. You're just, one of them, you're gonna have a rehab 1934 tank that doesn't help fire flows and those different things, where you're gonna have, where you get a new tank.
Right.
You're advancing your infrastructure and your service level.
I don't know what you all think, but that's my thought. Is
I'd rather do
spend
that
more
tower.
money on. Yeah.
Did rehab.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
In front of Hunter Phillips.
We had a valve. The bonnet bolts went out of it and it started leaking. So casing was busted, and that was valve 499 in the system. So we replaced it. It didn't bother.
What's the number of the valve now?
2000 something.
Sorry you asked. No, I knew it was gonna be up there.
And I did see some young man painting a fire hydrant yesterday. Thank you.
Somewhere out the started, and
I'm up, I gotta thank Megan or Grant.
Thank you both.
You can thank them both, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank both, the teamwork.
I just need someone to carry on that tradition that I left off. However many years ago that was.
Any other questions for Grant? Thank you, Grant. Eric, good morning.
Morning. Not too much to add. I do have one industry pre-treatment inspection to complete due to some staff overturn at that facility. Looking to probably get that done middle of the end of July. The other two inspections went well though, but other than that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
You'd be proud of you, with all this rain in the forecast, the trucks are not parked down below.
It's good to have.
They were on high ground.
Get him on high ground.
Yeah, take them up the hill.
Yeah.
Any questions for Eric? Thank you, Eric. Megan, good morning.
Morning. Just a couple of vacancy updates for you. As Steve already mentioned, we did get a second summer help started in underground this week. And on the general maintenance meter reader vacancies, we do have one filled pending pre-employment screening, continuing interviews for the second vacancy, and we are interviewing for payroll specialist as well. And other than that, I'd be happy to try to answer questions.
Any questions for Megan? Thank you, Megan. Travis didn't have work today.
Travis is on his summer vacation.
Well, I just didn't know whether.
No, he didn't have anything to report.
Okay. I guess we'll just move on to
You
Jeff.
can move right on to be morning, gentlemen. First off, Mark Rowden, I did hear yesterday, I guess they are gonna have a groundbreaking. Mark Rowden, if you guys remember, was a developer that was working on trying to get a housing development here in town. He's been working with the property owner, east of Marshall on Montague Hill. It's outside of city limits. And he approached me about, potentially operating the sewer out there. And really, that's kind of more of a checklist to get a license to put their system in. They have to contact the closest treatment works and see if there's anything they can do there with that existing system instead of building one water across Salt Fork Creek. And, you know, there's no way we could make that work. But he also mentioned that, you know, we could run that as well. And I told him I didn't really have the interest, but would visit with the board. I don't think that's really something we want to get into. He'll have somebody to operate it. It's not going to affect whether this goes in the county or not, but, and he had to ask. He said, well, you know, you can say no, I've got to ask you because I got to check the box on this form. So I just kind of wanted to fill the board in and see if they had any thoughts about it.
My initial thought was, how would you separate the private part from the public part? Because I think every home would have a septic tank.
It would have a septic tank.
So, yeah, I would think that still should be part of the private.
Yeah.
And then maybe a leach field, but yeah, so I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can't see how you could.
We got enough irons in the fire, and
Yeah.
you know, our goal and purpose is inside this community. You know, it's not for her to help out with the can, but not, I don't think in this case it's benefit.
And we don't want to go out there and take care of every septic tank.
No. I didn't even run this by staff. Oh, no, they don't. I know what their answer is going to be. We got enough. But anyway, just kind of wanted to, if you guys are fine with that, I'll just circle back with Mark and share those thoughts with him. Continue to work with Burns. Amanda's been off. I've been kind of hit and miss with her, but going to continue working to try to get a scope and a cost to bring those capital improvements in the water department, you know, bring those costs a little bit closer to what they're going to look like. So continue to work on that with her. And that's really about it. Just do have a pretty good sized outage there. Looks like that's going to start here shortly for the gas line. That's the regulator station within the project site. I saw the bids on that. That's about $3 million regulator station that we're putting in there. With got a water bath heater when you have the pressure. It's got 2 fuel trains and pressure cuts for us. I've reviewed the metering with Grant and Jared. Jared does metering. We think all that's looks good. But yeah, stuff's happening over there. They're digging in turbine leads, working on those today. And I bet here in a week or so they'll be getting the intake structures. But it looks like they were getting all the stuff finished up there. So, things continue to move forward.
Anything for Jeff?
You
Thank
need
you,
that executive or real estate.
I guess we'll move into, make any questions about the web sheets? Don't like it?
No, and if you notice there, I'm hoping this last large load policy roundtable will finalize. We're pretty close at the last meeting. You know, we've had a few small, what you would call computational loads. That's kind of the definition for data centers and AI. We have been approached by a few small ones, and I think once we get this policy wrapped up at the pool level, I'll be able to get back with them and see whether we can move something forward. I think we've got to a good place there that's going to protect, you know, any of the members if they would members and their customers if they would have one of those opportunities and be able to make it work. So looking forward to having that done. But yeah, prices are what prices are. Hopefully we get some good runs this summer out of our coal plants, and that'll give us a pretty good edge.
Any questions about that?
And April is one of our higher cost months, the shoulder months, April and probably November, October.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. If there's no other questions, we'll move into cash disbursements, which is not a lot better.
Nope. Hey, safety bad for having an energy bill on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I took those capacity credits being backed out of that.
Yeah.
A nice deal.
Which truck did you get, Jim?
That's the replacement for the hand-me-down from Grant, the, utility, not, it's pickup, the dually, extended cab.
Okay,
We ordered it.
towing your trailer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
one of the most towing, yeah.
Make a motion to approve cash disbursements.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve cash disbursements. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, July the 1st. Then meet with everybody's,
Yeah, works for me. The only thing I will, it's maybe a little far out, but the 15th, that Wednesday, I'll be gone. So the next meeting I'm good, but the 15th, I'm
We can maybe
before or after.
move that around at the next meeting, maybe, when you guys have a little better idea of what everybody else is.
I could, Tuesday, I could go before, but not after.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, okay, just.
July 1st works for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to recess and go into executive session in 3 minutes for
Real estate.
real estate.
So
Chuck Hines, yes.
Steve Mills, yes.
Jacoby, yes.
Tim Bryan, yes. 3 minutes.